What stands before you today in an awakened state is recognition of how you see, and how you see purposely, and how you see purposefully. The idea of who you are, I am the one that sees, I am the one that sees, can be worked with productive ways, can be worked with in productive ways. You're always deciding in some ways, you're always deciding in some ways what things mean, how they should be seen, how they should be seen, and what meaning should attach, and what meaning should be attached to anything you see, to anything you see, and consequently, your relationship with the external world is not only highly subjective, but informed by the meaning that you have inherited through the collective field. What a nice day is, what a a miserable day was, what a torturous event was, what a great possibility is. Now, how you frame your reality in an individual and collective way claims you not only in an identity, but in a collective experience of identity. We, the citizens of a country, we, the group that makes up this, we, the group that makes up this segment of it, we, those people who never get our needs met, and you inform the collective, and you inform the collective through the ideas you hold, which are always based in an historical premise. Somebody will always be left out. Somebody will always be left out. This is the way the world works. This is the way the world works. And I will never get my way. The judgment you hold upon the material realm manufactures itself as your experience. The one who believes she lives in an unjust world claims this at all times. Her experience will always confirm it. Now, when you awaken to who you truly are, it is an awakening of sorts, and indeed it is an awakening of sorts. You begin to realize what you are. You begin to realize not only what you are, the manifest divine, that all things that you experience, but that all things that you experience are of the same source, You stop individualizing through prior prescription, the meaning things have, and you start receiving the wonder, the absolute wonder that must be present, in any experience. And we said any, notice we said any, inclusive of those things you say cannot be of God. Now, when you see the world through another lens, we'll call it the lens of the upper room. In our prettifying world, you are not prettifying the world, but indeed you are sanctifying it. But indeed you are sanctifying, or claiming the holiness, that must be present, even in spite of the contrary, even in spite of the evidence to the contrary. You're not whitewashing. You are not whitewashing, spraying perfume. You are not spraying perfume upon the pile of garbage. You're actually re-seeing. You are actually re-seeing what has been made manifest, through the collective, beyond the individual lens, beyond the individuated lens, or the collective lens, or the collective lens that is held in harmony, that holds inherited meaning, and seeks to claim what was, and seeks to claim what was. When you begin to re-see, and then reclaim, and then reclaim, and then re-know, your experience was altered. Your experience of the world is altered, and you begin to experience wonder. Paul interrupts the teaching. I've had some wonder. Well, I've had some experiences of wonder. These do not feel like what you were talking about. These do not feel like what you were talking about. Were mind different? In fact, they were not. What happened in your case, Paul? What happened in your case? The case of most of you, and in the case of most of you, the periodic times, is that there are periodic times when the small self lens, the lens of separation, the lens of separation is dislodged, removed, you have another experience, and you have another experience of what always was true, but has been denied by you, When you lift to the upper room, and you begin to re-see the divine where it was denied, you're actually seeing what is already there. You're actually seeing what is already there, what was already there, but was previously denied, and the wonder you experience at this site, and the wonder you experience at this site is the wonder of perception, Behold, I make all all things new. Now in the God within you, or the divine spark as you, or the divine spark as you, in manifestation as you, claims perception, what it actually claims, but is the ability to know, K-N-O-W, realize the divine that is in all things, the divine that is in all things. Actually not effortful at all. It is actually not effortful at all. It is really very simple. It is really very simple. The aspect of you that knows who and what it is, that knows who and what it is, of God, of one source, already realizes all things, as of that source, the manifest divine, and the manifest divine come as each of you, and we say each of you here, and we say each of you here, and each of you anywhere, and each of you anywhere is contributing to the manifest divine, or the realization of it through your perception, how you see a child, that ugly child, that stupid child, that lost child, that incorrigible child claims the child identity, claims the child in an identity. When you're born in a home, you are seen in these ways. When you are seen in these ways, you reclaim the self. Beyond that old idea, at the cost of what you thought was true, at the cost of what you thought was true. But the parent or anyone who sees the child she calls stupid, is actually creating the idea, embossing the idea, painting the idea of her perception on the child that she sees, When you know God as the child, when the child is of God, you love the child, you see the child as everything, you see the child in its innate perfection, regardless of how it presents, and you claim him or her, in an agreement to the truth of all things, when one experiences herself as seen in this way, one is altered in a deep way, Some of you were taught by people, who knew how to love, and you walk about the world, with the memory of this, imprinted in your field, and with that imprinting comes the knowing that you are worthy of it, comes the knowing that you are worthy of it. When one is not born with the worthiness of love, as what happens in the home, and the worthiness of love, when the worthiness of love is denied, the individual, one seeks to find love, outside the self, through her behavior, through the world's perception of her, but she will never find it, because the love that she seeks, is actually already present, through the aspect of her, or of him, that actually knows who he is, Some of you were not loved, were not known in love, when you were young, and while you have a challenging road, you also have the wonderful opportunity, of being renowned, through the divine self, that loves unconditionally, the one who understands herself, through the result of her journey, as worthy of love, as unshakable in this, is unshakable in this, and this human being is able to perceive others in love, who have never known it, or were denied it, Everyone who has come to this experience of life, has come to participate in the reclaiming of the world. It is ongoing now. The times you sit in challenging, are creating greatest opportunities, Humanity has known for some time. For an acceleration of tone, a realization of source, an ongoing witness, what we call the inherent, of what we call the inherent divine. I want to line that phrase, if you wish. Now, underline that phrase if you wish. Inherent divine, inherent divine. When making something holy, you are not making something holy or seeing what is already divine. You are seeing what is already divine that perhaps has not been offered this, that perhaps has not been offered this in a productive or spiritual way, in a productive or experiential way. Now, while the tree knows it's holy, while the blade of grass knows it's holy, while the blade of grass knows it's holy because it cannot be anything other, because it cannot be anything other. Some of you cannot know this. Some of you cannot know this without your participation, in a new agreement. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of love, just as I am, just as I am, just as I was, just as I was, just as I can only be, just as I can only be. When the worthiness of love is present, the experience of wonder, rearticulation and wonder, become forth, become aware, become present, not only to the self, who has experienced the other, who has experienced the other, but to the self that has always known it, The aspect of you was not love. The aspect of you that was denied love is now being escorted to this altar of love by the aspect of you, that has always known it, There is an aspect of each of you. There is an aspect of each of you that fully knows she is loved, that fully knows she is loved. There is an aspect of each of you. There is an aspect of each of you that holds great capacity of wonder, for wonder in this aspect of you. And this aspect of you will seek to flower in this class, if Paul allows us to teach, as we wish, and if you allow us to be heard, and if you allow us to be heard. This is what we wish you to know about what course we have planned for you. This is what we wish you to know about the course we have planned for you. Each of you is participatory. Each of you is participatory to the manifest world, Is it claiming the light and the dark? Each of you are claiming the light or the dark as you perceive things, Here's what you see. Each of you are endowing what you see with inherited meaning, born in collective experience, the nice day, the awful day, the nice day, the awful day, the good man, the good man, the evil man, and each of you consequently claims a manifest world, because what do you attention to? Because what you give your attention to, you claim, and what you claim becomes so, not only in your own experience, but in the collective experience, what a world should be, when we take you to the upper room. When we take you to the upper room, we seek to remove the blinders. We seek to remove the blinders that you have been kept by, And these blinders come in different forms, The denial of the divine being the primary one, although it may take different language, different form, different experience, It still holds its basis. It still holds its basis in the simple denial. What is it like, Paul asks? Well, what is it like, Paul asked, to not deny the divine? To not deny the divine, that is where we should take you. That is where we wish to take you, to a miraculous place, or a place of wonder, when what you see out your window, whether it be what you would have thought of as a beautiful day or an awful day, or an awful day is known as of one source, perhaps not to the particular selves, to the particular selves like the true self-awareness, but to the true self-awareness of what is always true, of what is always true. What is true is always true. What is true is always true. The subtext and the realization, if you wish, of what you see, is that there is one source, in manifestation, how this manifestation has come to be, has been the product of choice, individual and collective choice, and these choices are now made, through a legacy of history, where the personality is structure, whether the personality structure, even cultural identity, or even cultural identity of a group of people seeks to reclaim what was through the old, what was through the old. When you reclaim through the old, well, it was a bad last Sunday. Well, it was a bad last Sunday. I expect we'll have a bad this Sunday. I expect we will have a bad this Sunday and a bad Sunday and a bad Sunday from here on in. You claim a legacy. Born of the denial of the divine, you perpetuate it, and you perpetuate it. Understand this phrase. Understand this phrase. It will serve you well. The small self knows itself entirely through history, through the data of history, The personality structure has never had a new idea, It knows what the teapot is. Because it was taught what a teapot is, Perhaps was taught what a fine tea was, and perhaps was taught what a fine tea was, and a lesser tea is, You understand yourselves through these agreements. They're implicit. They are implicit to how you behave, how you react, and always to how you choose, and always to how you choose. Now, when you move to the upper room, which is the higher level of tone, or the octave above the common field, or the octave above the common field, It is not so much that you are wiping the slate clean. You are reseeing what is. Without informing, with all the data, with all of the data of history, or the prior meeting, or the prior moral ideas, that have been impressed in a thing, that have been impressed into a thing through generations past, and the teapot is just the teapot. Then the teapot is just the teapot. The tea is just the tea. The tea is just the tea. You will have your awareness of these things. You will have your awareness of these things in your own ways, but you will also share one new one. But you will also share one new awareness. The teapot is of God. The teapot is of God. And what made the teapot, and what made the teapot was also God, claimed in an idea, and reinforced in form, When we teach through Paul, we actually have to monitor his system. He has been in a reflective period, looking at his history, and constantly seeing how history, and consequently seeing how his history claims him in his present reality, It is not only a useful exercise in his case, it will actually allow him freedom. It will actually allow him a freedom of a new awareness he's never known himself in, that he has never known himself in. It's a way of putting the past to rest. Allowing what was to be, allowing what was to be, what he thought it was, then claiming the new, and then claiming the new, where the historical data and history was, This is an opportunity for him. This is an opportunity for him, and also for you, because as we teach through him, we are lifting him. Beyond ideas of what was, to a level of wonder he's not known, to a level of wonder he has not known. We're doing the same for you, and we are doing the same for you. Now we work in equivalency. Or vibrational accord, when each of you are lifted. To what we call the upper room, you're actually claiming what you encounter. You are actually claiming what you encounter at that level of tone or resonance. The perception we're bringing up today, the perception we are speaking of today actually goes hand in hand with the lifting of vibration, to the upper room. But we are opportunizing it, as you may perceive, so that you may perceive, include perception, unbiased perception, untainted perception, in the mix, so that the eyes that you see with are moving to a level, of agreement to source, where what you see and what you know, is what you realize of God, is what you realize as of God. Each of you before us today will be witnessed by us, will be witnessed by us as we work with you, as we work with you. We do this in collective ways. We do this in collective ways, but we do not deny the individual's need to be in awareness, of how she is known, of how she is known, because we don't hold the lens, that denies the divine. We witness you without that. We may witness you without that. You may be seen by us as you are. You may be seen by us as you truly are, beyond the idea that you hold, of what things should be, or what they have meant, or what they have met. And when we say yes to you, and when we say yes to you, as we are doing now, it is not a conditional yes. It is not a conditional yes. You'll be seen. You will be seen if you behave the way we want. You will be known if you say what we want. You will be known if you say what we want. We do not teach in this manner. We recommend that no one does. We recommend that no one does. The yes that we offer is the simple agreement, to who you have always been, can only be, and will now know, and will now know. We wish to attune you now to the word. We wish to attune you now to the word. You may say these words after us if you wish. You may say these words after us if you wish. I am word through my body. Word, I am word. I am word through my vibration. Word, I am word. I am word through my knowing of myself as word. Word, I am word. I am word through the eyes I see with. Word, I am word. I am word through all perception that I engage in. Word, I am word. Word, I am word. I am observation, and I am allowing the perception of the divine self, to claim itself as my experience, I am word through this intention. I am word through this intention. Word, I am word. Now you may say this if you wish. Now you may say this if you wish. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. I am in the upper room. I have come, I have come, I have come. Behold, I make all things new. It will be so. God is, God is, God is. And now you may say this to all who are joined here, all who hear these words, all who hear these words, will one day hear these words and know that it is true, and know that it is true. I see you in your beauty. I see you in your right to be, in all you have known and may know. And as I say these words, I say what is always true. You are free. You are free. You are free. Thank you each for your presence. We will take a pause for Paul. Return to questions as you wish. Stop now, please. Period.